not as much of a community, I guess, because like I don't really know too much about it.
There's a member down there right now. He's put the project on hold because of other various things going on in his life at the moment and whatnot. But I think it's on Spark Fun, right? Devin, the UBW 32. I can't remember. It's a board that's like 32 or like 64 I/O pins. It's off of a pick. And yeah, just connect. Yeah, you have USB. You can connect anything to it, and it's just tons of I/O pins. And he's currently, well, was working on it, developing software libraries for it or whatever to create his really super cool robot that he's going to build. And who knows when, if he ever gets the time. And he does have a blog. I don't know, is it listed on the website, Devin?
I think
it's beyondarduino.com.
Yeah, that's his blog. You can go ahead and look there. He has some information on it, but it looked to be a pretty crazy, pretty awesome board.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of Propeller? That's what I've heard about but don't know much about.
I've not
heard of it.
Propeller.
I haven't worked with it much. Like basically just heard and read through a little bit. I mean, you probably know as much as I do, but like I don't know. I am supportive of just anybody getting into this whole hardware scene because like it's easy. It's an excellent way to learn.
Real quick with the Propeller, I know a lot of times people will use the Arduino platform and use Propeller with it for graphical interfaces. A lot of times with CRT screens or LCD, stuff like that. So if you're trying to use the Arduino for like, you can even make things like Pac-Man and things like that. Use Propeller as a display driver and be able to project it that way.
So anyway, I was just going to go over alternative development platforms too real quick. Considering it's a hardware class, I'm going to talk on Arduino and the open source development platform that they are, provide you some other options and whatnot of platforms. So you have the Raspberry Pi. If you don't know what the Raspberry Pi is, shame. It's been super big lately, especially in the open hardware software community. Just for anyone that doesn't know, it's a UK charity. Forgot his name all of a sudden. One of the main guys works for Broadcom over in UK, so they're able to get ARM chips for super cheap. You have two models. You have the Raspberry Pi A and the Raspberry Pi B. The Raspberry Pi A is $25. It's not out yet. And the Raspberry Pi B is $35, and they've started shipping, I think, 2 weeks ago, finally. The difference between the two is the Raspberry Pi A doesn't have a networking port. That's the only difference. But it's a 700 megahertz, I think, if I can't remember. 700 megahertz ARM 9 processor. I might be wrong on the series, but it's pretty cool. It has 256 megs of RAM, so being ARM, you can do pretty much anything with it.
They've been able to play Quake on it.
Yeah, you can play Quake. There's a build of Xbox Media Center for it out already. It'll do full 1080p video playback. So one of the really popular things is if you can get one, get it for a home theater PC. They're super tiny. They run off of you plug it into USB and it runs. So it's, I think, 2.5 watts or something like that. So yeah, if you're looking for a slightly more complex project, or you don't really want to bother learning how to code an Arduino,
Which is basically C++.
Super easy, C++. The Raspberry Pi is a great solution. You just install Linux on it. You can code in Perl, PHP, Python, Java, C++, C, whatever you want. Go.
That
anything.
seems like it's going to dilute the effort, though.
Yeah.
There's not the concentration like you have with Arduino.
No. It's definitely, the Arduino is a much more minimalistic, efficient way to get things done, whereas if you were to buy the Raspberry Pi to, say, do like a weather station logger, it's a lot more, just throw power at it and then code it however the heck I want to play. So, I mean, they built the Raspberry Pi so that kids get back into the computing world, learn about programming. They wanted to return, kind of bring back the hacker days from, the Commodore 64 and all that and whatnot. They felt there wasn't as much interaction with the hardware and coding. So that's why they did the Raspberry Pi. The Beagle board is significantly more expensive, but it is a faster ARM processor. They have the two boards, the Beagle board, like Alpha or something like that, for $89. And then they have the Mega for $149. The Mega comes with tons of inputs and whatnot on it. So this is pretty cool too. I found these guys through, yeah. Anyway, TerraSIC. The name is kind of a slight, I think, false advertisement because they don't make ASICs, they make FPGAs. So yeah, the DEO Nano is, I think, from my quick little browsing of their page, is the cheapest development board they offer. Super powerful. It can do full-blown video on it too by itself. It's a 400 megahertz FPGA. For those who don't know what an FPGA is, it's a fully programmable gate array. So you can, well, NVIDIA, they have an FPGA farm where they, before they actually, before they dump the money out, before they pay TSMC to go ahead and make a prototype of their new graphics card, they actually program the FPGA gates to simulate what their graphics card looks like. So, or how it will perform. So yeah, I mean that's an FPGA and ASIC. It's a whole bunch of gates on there that you can program to do whatever the heck you want. So if you have a lot of networking hardware, uses ASICs or FPGAs. ASICs are application-specific integrated chip. They're really expensive to use because they're designed for that specific use. They're not reprogrammable. So you'll see that in a lot of like layer 2 switches. There are development boards for them, they're just not used as much anymore. A lot of the time ASICs they use ASICs to program an FPGA at boot. FPGAs are reusable. Then you have the TI, or the TI Launchpad, which is a microcontroller by TI. They sell it for dirt cheap, but they're slightly, I don't know, I've never used them, haven't heard much about them. We have a few at the hackerspace, no one uses them. But yeah, if you're adventurous and you want to try to use them, they're also a good route to go. But a quick little thing with the TerraSIC, the DO9 or DON or Nano. There's a guy in Japan that's done a full, I think it's a 128 channel VU, spectrum analyzer for his audio. And what's really cool is they're made out of bar graph Nixie tubes. Like, I want to pull out a picture and show you real quick. It's really cool application. I wish, it's a little over the top for the Arduino, but.
I guess while he's finding that, talk about the Launchpad. So, Texas Instruments came out with their little dev board for it's like MSP3 something, I don't even remember. Yeah, that. And pretty inexpensive, they're a lot less powerful, but you can still do stuff with it, and they're really cheap. I'm pretty sure they're being subsidized or something because of how cheap they are. Like they were selling for $5 on DigiKey and stuff. I mean, it's a lot of hardware for just a little dev board for $5. Anyway, that they have their own programming environment. However, somebody went ahead and wrote a makefile and a header file that you can include in projects and actually compile code with Arduino libraries that will run on the Launchpad. So I thought that's kind of cool. So if you want to experiment with different hardware.
Oh, go back. Oh. So yeah, that's partway finalized project. He has an MP3 player with one of those TerraSIC FPGAs, and then he's gone out and he sent all the boards off to a board shop to have these guys made. And that's, just another idea for projects and whatnot. So I guess, that's kind of that's our talk. Just do whatever the heck you want with the hardware. It's pretty sweet, super cheap.
Any questions?
I want to build a track that you could, put a camera on and control like the movement programmatically. Like, have you guys done stuff like that? Like back and forth and rotate?
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward to do. I remember last LAN party we did.
John.
It was, John there, I can still remember, connected, So what we did is we had a space down here and then a space up.
We set up a webcam to link between the two places
Yeah.
at the LAN party.
And one of the webcams was on a servo controlled by an Arduino, so that was kind of cool. So we could, there was 2 webcams and 2 projectors with speakers on both sides, so we could yell at the other people.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Who could I talk to about like what parts you used or?
John probably. Let's get up with him sometime.
Yeah,
Today,
there's,
after the talk.
like, if you have questions, like, there's forums,
You can.
there is Utah, like, we have a IRC.
Oh yeah, I forgot to
makers.
put our contact information up there. We're on if you're into IRC, we're on the Freenode network under Utah Makers channel. So you can pop in there anytime you want, ask any sort of question. The big thing right now is 3D printers. All the guys up in Salt Lake right now are building a DLP resin-based 3D printer.
You can also go to theTransistor.
And then, yeah, we have theTransistor.com, which is our website. We also have a forum there. It has all of our times. We do public classes once a month, usually the first Saturday of the month. We have the information for the classes on there. Sometimes they have kits that cost money to pay for the hardware. Last month, one of our members did an amplifier with some transducers for his kit. He did the lesson on there and taught about transducers and amplifiers, and you were there for that, so.
Yeah, I actually went to Papa John's. They gave me free pizza boxes,
Sweet.
so I made 16-inch speakers out of it.
So yeah, I mean, we're pretty community driven. Any public Saturday, you're more than welcome to come down at the public times, ask questions and whatnot. So all that information's on the website, thetransistor.com. So
Do you know where to buy the Raspberry Pi from for those prices?
so there's Element 14 is one of the websites.
They're the main ones.
Element 14, and then there's I forgot the name of it. Farnell. Those are the 2 big distributors. So I didn't pre-order mine because I was like, forget about it. I don't want to drop the $25, $35 for it right now. I have to wait 3 months to get it anyway.
It's like 50 with shipping and.
Yeah, I was like, I'll just buy it when it's finally out, like when I can get it anytime I want to. I'm not going to dedicate $35 to $50 for the board right now. So
Mine
Farnell
actually,
and Element 14 are the 2 that I know for sure.
I got mine from Element 14. It's shipping on June 18th, and there was no extra shipping charge.
Yeah, they figured that out. They fixed that whole thing. That was a pretty big issue right when they launched. And then they came out and they're like, we're sorry, don't hate us. Flat shipping for the world. Sorry.
Oh.
So like I've been doing software for like 10 years but never gotten into hardware. Like about all I know is don't stick a knife in the toaster.
Yeah, that's a good rule.
So like where should I go to, because this is really interesting to me, that's why I came to class, so where should I go to like get started?
To buy hardware, there's websites you have like Adafruit.com. They have a lot of good hardware there. Aaron's a real big fan of SparkFun. If they sell completed kits. They also do. There's like DigiKey or Mauser Electronics and whatnot. If you're looking to get into stuff, I would definitely. SparkFun has a very good community built around it. They have a lot of ideas and projects that pop up on there a lot of the time. There's also Instructables that you can always go ahead and just go there. If you have an idea for the project, you can search Instructables and hopefully they'll have, like a step-by-step how to build this and whatnot. Hackaday is also another really good website. They have,
That's just for like showing off, I don't know.
yeah, for getting ideas to do projects
But
and
as far as
whatnot.
like understanding the actual circuitry and like, okay, I shouldn't attach this thing to this thing and I don't wanna let the magic smoke out.
It smells good, but it's not good when it comes out. There's, Make has a very good entry electronics book that they have out.
Yeah.
I just go on Amazon. I bought one forever ago, but just go on Amazon and search Make like introductory to electronics. They have a really good book. You had something too.
Yeah, I just want to add that tomorrow my talk, which was in all caps, so you couldn't tell that the ARM actually was ARM, not ARM. But I'm going to be talking tomorrow about using the Panda board, which is the successor to the Beagle board, and the steps you go through to get that up into a working system.
As far as like getting started with electronics, like soldering and wiring and things like that, Make also does have some tutorial
Yeah,
videos on
really
how
good
to
stuff.
solder and stuff like that too.
Make has a lot of really good, like, entry level, how-to books and whatnot, so.
Yeah, and like, once you understand just a little bit, you can kind of build on top of that really quickly and just do whatever. Like, when I first joined the Transistor, the extent of my experience with hardware was like a 1-month class back in high school. But I mean, that was just enough that I could just take things and go with it.
It was pretty fun when he first came a year ago. He had a lot of questions come up and
Yeah.
Deb had taught him some PHP.
You'll
he
destroy
did-
a lot of things, but it's
Yeah.
worth it because you can't really like, oh, I just fried this $40 board. Well, that's the way things work. So yeah, I use diodes everywhere now just to
Yes.
prevent like that sort of
So he doesn't plug stuff in backwards.
Yeah. So yeah, any other questions? Well, thanks for coming.
Thank you very much. It was a great time.